Hi guys, I'm Shmee. Hello to you. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another beautiful day in Geneva. We've been down here for the Motorshow, but today it's time to return back home. That means a few things. Firstly, a couple of Bugattis are coming right up. Then we're going to hit the roads to put another 1,000 kilometers on the AMG GT R. And then when we get to London, my new 911 GT3 is going to be dropped off by truck this evening at the same time we arrive, or at least that's the plan. Let's see what happens, but get started. There is plenty to see today. He's been a bit quiet in recent videos, but for this entire trip, I've enlisted the help of BenzeneBen.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I have been hiding behind a laptop for the last few days,
Yes.
as you say.
Editing all of the Geneva coverage. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Today though, Ben's going to be piloting a fair bit of the GTR for the drive as well.
Yep.
But the first place we are actually visiting is Bentley and Bugatti here in Geneva. We're going to head down to the Bugatti showroom. Of course, there are two cars down there to go and take a look at. But before we do, actually, I should just roll the clip. As we pulled up here, a LaFerrari drove away. Yep, that happened. Not bad timing then with that at all, but before we get inside, just a quick mention to the Bentley Continental GT3 R. When I drove one of these, it was awesome. Anyway, let's head now down into the showroom to see the Veyron and Chiron. Still haven't quite got there, interrupted just for a moment by the Continental 24, so to celebrate the Nurburgring 24-hour race, this car, special edition, is number 17 of 24. I love the yellow inside here, the contrast colours against the black of the traditional luxurious Bentley interior. Here we are inside the Bugatti Geneva showroom where there is this wonderful full carbon Chiron and the Veyron. The previous generation, this was such an iconic car and really an engineering marvel at the time. 1,000 horsepower, W16 quad turbo engine, and that's now moved on to the new generation, the Chiron. Any thoughts, Ben?
Isn't it fascinating seeing both side by side? I don't think I've ever seen them next to each other before. And you can really just see, like you say, how things have moved on. You've got elements of the same design, the headlight placement, the way the bonnet comes down, obviously.
The front grille, horseshoe grille.
Horseshoe grille. But yeah, it's...
much more aggression on the Chiron. And this car obviously has complete body and exposed carbon fibre, which is always stunning. And look at the interior as well. Let's have a quick look inside here.
That's what you call tangerine.
It is very tangerine, but it contrasts nicely against the exterior.
It does.
Because if you have a car in a dark colour on the outside, or in this case the carbon fibre, I think it's quite nice. Very, very clean, completely brand new car from the factory.
I love the satin carbon centre console as well.
It is
lovely.
Beautiful, and obviously in here, 1,500 horsepower. It's a development of that 8-litre quad turbocharged W16. It's the performance numbers behind the Chiron are just astonishing.
Even down to the tyres, the punishment they have to take.
Well, potentially capable of, well, it is capable of 400 plus, 400 and who knows what when it gets to a top speed run. But very, very nice thing. But you know what? I do still like the look.
You wouldn't
of the
say
Veyron.
that?
No, definitely not. In the blue and the black, and here with the tan interior, it is a very, very nice looking car. Well, anyway, very nice little visit to the showroom. A big thanks to Bentley Geneva out here then, but it is time to return to London in the GTR. Ben's going to be at the wheel for the first leg of today. I've just realised you can't open it because the key is in my pocket and I'm not close enough. Keyless system, of course. There we go. In we jump. Actually, you know what? Could you just... No, I was going to say fire it up and I'll hear it from the outside, but that's not going to work either because the key is still in my pocket. Surprise, surprise. But we can step in and get this journey started. Get on the road back towards... Yeah, seat back.
Seat back a little bit for me.
Into life. We're in individual mode, nice noisy mode. Do you know what? I really like my yellow seatbelts.
Yes.
One of my favourite things about this car. So,
well, we were just in a very bright yellow interior Zonda.
yes.
And I did think, that looks very nice.
Cool. Right, onto the road then. Back towards London and to the GT3. We've just crossed the border. We're now on the French Autoroutes. We actually just had a moment where we passed a GT3 RS right at the border actually, which was pulled over with some guys on a road trip somewhere. But the car has at the moment, if I zoom in on the dashboard, 10,000 Waze running in miles, 501 miles. Obviously we've been driving for a little bit already, 6.5 hours to go. That is to Folkestone, not to Folkestone, sorry, to Calais, the French side for the Eurotunnel. So the car will have substantially more on it a little bit later on, which is all fun and games. You can use the built-in nav. We just prefer to use Waze. Talk about this all the time. I'm sure you guys have seen it, and use this for music when the camera isn't rolling. But motorways it is for the next couple of hours. It's a lovely sunny day. Let us crack on and see how we can get back towards picking up my car again, which is really exciting. I tell you what, this is a very pretty day to be going for a long drive. If you're going to be on the road, it is much more fun if the sun is out and shining and it's not pouring down with gloomy rain, which we often get, or at least this car has experienced a lot of. Obviously, so many of these miles have been when it's been going to ski resorts or driving in snow. It's actually driven over a tiny bit of snow today, which was just a bit random. Anyway, all is going pretty well so far. We've got a long slog. What we can do is crack on.
Fast forward a couple of hours, we've had a driver swap, and you've just received some good news from the other half of Team Schmee.
Indeed. Not that the police are reported ahead. That's not the good news. Not even good news at all. But the good news that we have received is that the GT3 now has number plates. I know that sounds like such a trivial thing, but getting it registered has been a huge thing over the last couple of months, or weeks particularly. The last week, as you can imagine. First time doing a left-hand drive car. It has a German number plate. I will show you that later on, because the plates are with the car in the truck. It's a very different system in Germany to the UK. You basically get one set of plates. They have to be made by the official registration office, but those are coming over, and we'll either see them later tonight or tomorrow, because it's taken quite a few hours. The truck might arrive somewhere in the middle of the night, which means
it's never straightforward, is it?
It might either be waking up at some very funny hour, or let's just see what happens later on. We'll keep the video rolling until the GT3 has landed.
Yeah.
Until the Eagle has landed. But we've obviously been at the Geneva Motorshow. We've not really had any kind of recap. And
no.
Ben's actually edited in 3 days 15 videos.
My mind is just a blur of clips and footage. Just
and coloured intros.
Yes, yeah, you've been liking the coloured intros.
That was a spontaneous idea literally the night before the show, and we were like, let's make every kind of colour we can think of.
Well, it started with just, let's do a Gelbgren intro, and it's like, well, why don't we do some more? And then,
And then that happened. So, cars of the show. Now, this has been a hypercar show. Rimac C2, McLaren Senna GT R, Aston Martin Valkyrie AMR Pro, then the beautiful Koenigsegg, the Bugatti Chiron Sport, the Pagani Zonda Barchetta and Huayra Roadster. It's literally non-stop, and I mean, that's just a small selection. There have been so many what we could call hypercars on display at the Geneva Motor Show. Then there are all the supercars, the new GT3 RS, the Performante Spider, the 488 Pista. Then you've got some how do we describe them?
Tuners.
Extreme cars from Mansouri, Top Car. Then you've got the more regular tuners, the more subtle tuners, MTM, Abt, Brabus.
I just said Liberty Walk after you said subtle.
Yeah, Liberty Walk were very subtle. Liberty Walk, Aventador, you could never stand out, ever. On to the point, you guys comment what your favourite thing has been, or maybe what your least favourite thing has been. But, oh, apparently there might be a camera here, but do say whether you mean your favourite or your least favourite, or we're very confused. Then, on the spot.
Okay, so let's start with the negative. Least favourite. Now, this is going to come out a bit wrong, but the Senna GTR looks incredible, but I just feel it was all too quick. You know, we've barely had time for the dust to settle from the Senna release. Lots of people have only seen the pictures of it, and it's a completely different beast in the flesh.
This was the Senna release.
But they also brought a full carbon Senna, which is an event in itself, and the absolutely bonkers GTR, and I just feel it's all a bit too much at once. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of nitpicking that, I know, but yeah.
I've just worked out before you even get onto it what your favourite car of the show is going to be.
Go on.
Is it green?
It is green. It's a nice metallic green. Actually, picking between, so if you haven't picked it up, that would be the Bullet Mustang. But picking between the 2018 one and the 1968 one, ooh, that's tough. That's tough. But both absolutely beautiful. I obviously love Mustangs, so seeing that was nice. And I really like the balls of Ford to put a car from 50 years ago on, or 60 years ago, on a Motorshow stand at Geneva. So, well done, Ford.
And for those of you who haven't remembered, as we discussed at the last Motorshow, Ben's new Mustang is coming very soon. And
Very soon.
And Ben also has an old Mustang.
Yeah.
So you can see.
Not that I'm biased or anything.
See how that works. So, favourites from my end.
What for you?
I don't necessarily think it's the obvious things, the Valkyrie or the Senna, because they're concept bodies of race cars. They're not road cars. I was actually quite pleasantly surprised by the 488 Pista. I
Yes.
don't know if I'm actually saying this, but I've never been a huge 488 GTB fan, but the Pista looks awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really cool. Obviously, I'm naturally attracted towards the GT3 RS because GT3
And it was in a good colour.
and a good colour for the launch, so that's a bit of a given. But then I did rather like my beautiful Regera.
Yes, if you were going to spec a Regera.
That was pretty good. Blue on blue on blue on blue. 4 different blues in one Koenigsegg. And I do like Koenigsegg a lot. Christian von Koenigsegg is a genius.
Cool
Technology,
guy.
yeah, technology is incredible. But then I also, do you know what, actually? That was my favourite non-new car, because the Regera is not new. My favourite new car by miles is the Rimac C2.
Yeah.
The fact that a small little company from Croatia, the brainchild of one man, Mate Rimac,
It's
has
incredible.
come up and created all of that in a production vehicle now on sale, 150 of them being made, is just insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. So Rimac C2 wins my favourite car award. Least favourite though. Least favourite. I've got to pick something.
Tricky, huh?
Yeah, very tricky. I could say almost a cop out, but the Huracan Performante Spider, because it wasn't an Aventador SVJ.
Yeah, that's one thing. If you saw our video before the show, we were sort of eyeing up the battle between the Pista, the SVJ, and the GT3 RS. And it became a 2-horse race in the end, didn't it? We didn't see the SVJ, so...
Sadly not. So I'm going to say a Performante Spider, partly because I've never been hugely drawn to the Performante.
Sure.
I wasn't massively blown away by it driving it, and now with the Spider it's got even less space inside, which yeah. Anyway, so busy Geneva, lots of videos. I hope you've all enjoyed the content an awful lot. For us now, I think though, it's cracking on. Probably a couple more driver swaps until we get to the Eurotunnel, then into England. So we will update you later on.
Onwards.
Slight change of plan. It's very, very late in the night, but I've driven to Topaz, where we're actually going to unload the car ahead of it getting a detail and full paint protection film. We'll talk more about that in due course. There are lots of nice cars around here. The GT3 should be here in any moment, and we'll get it unloaded. Here we go then, pulled by a G-Wagon. In here is the car that I have not seen for a little while. And there we go, looking lovely. Into life, and it's still wearing the Porsche Centrum Amsterdam number plate on the back from collection there at the dealership. Let's just run round to the front, because it's coming out onto UK soil for the very first time. It looks incredible inside the trailer here. That lighting, the red backlighting behind the bright green. Here we go. And 3, 2, 1, touchdown in England. It's going to be going back to Germany again very, very soon. But there we have it. The GT3 has arrived. There we go then, the car has arrived. What a day today has been, from starting at Bugatti in Geneva, Bugatti and Bentley there checking out the Chiron, the long drive back with the GTR that now needs a proper clean up. It also needs the tyres changed back to the summer tyres, the Michelin Sport Cup 2s, which are the same tyres that the GT3 has as well, as it happens. And then these two can be prepared for our first proper outing in the GT3. I can't wait for the first drive. I know it's slightly prolonged, and I'm sure some of you will be saying, just go ahead and drive it now, just take it out now and go and drive it. We've got the number plates. Actually, that's something I've not shown you yet. Should we talk about the number plate? Come here. It's in the passenger seat, so I actually need to unlock the car first. To do this, I have the key here, my lovely Gelbergrün GT3 key. Inside here are the number plates. Let me grab these just very quickly. So, the number plate for this car, are you ready? Boom, FTB 87. Many of you will remember that 87 TB has been my flagship UK number plate, if you could say. Something that's going to have it in the future. F, you have it where it's registered in Frankfurt. That is the number plate for this car, FTB 87. I quite like having that for my first German number plate. So, those look really cool at night. That looks really cool at night. Good shout, Porsche Amsterdam. Thank you very much. So, I'm going to wrap this one up. This car is going to be heading to the Nurburgring at the end of the month. So is that, the LT2 and the GT8. But it's been a very long day today. Probably woke up nearly 24 hours ago in Switzerland. So I'll wrap it up for there. Thank you very much. Again, thank you to Benzene for his help editing all of these videos. Give him a follow on Instagram as well. That's it for this time. Thanks very much, guys. I'll see you very soon. Cheers.